Sonic the Fighters has a unique way on handling the blocking system in traditional fighting games. Which one is blocking? Pretty hard to tell, wasn't it? So what they did is that they came up with barriers, as it was a good way to set apart from traditional fighting games while also staying true to how they work. Now, barriers work basically the same, but are a lot more easier and accessible to use. The main thing that they're useful for is that they're basically one of the main ways to help you win at neutral. Often than not, if you're going to be using barriers, you're either going to be using them against Fang or Eggman, mainly because they have the best pressuring options in the game outside of sidestep PK spammers. When a move is safe on block, you're going to usually want to block it, but it's important to point out that because something's safe to block doesn't mean it takes a barrier. For example, Lariat outside of Hyper is incredibly safe to block and punish due to its end lag, but a move like Volley Toss is also safe to block, although it takes a barrier. Safe to block basically means you can ensure to punish them after blocking, therefore gain momentum to, well, win the match, I guess. You can also use barriers to initiate Hyper Mode, which will allow you to do cool things like this. However, it's very situational for certain characters though. Fang is a character that really needs Hyper, not only because he has Hyper Quirks, which is pretty already ridiculous on its own, and he also gets a move called Cannon Barrage, which is basically a reskin of one of his moves, but there's way too many fucking quirks on the screen, and Bark needs it for one main reason: Hyper Lariat. Now, I can make a whole video on this move in and of itself, considering how good this move is. It's fast, it fucking moves, and it can basically do half your health in one go. One thing that's important about Hyper is that if you're blocking and you get stuck inside of a Hyper string, you can try mashing your way out if the opponent mistimes their punish, and you might be able to have a chance to punish them back for that. And now, you might be thinking to yourself, after I just went on a massive ordeal about barriers and Hyper, you might be thinking, oh, but hey, the cat, what about the special barrier moves that you mentioned earlier? Well, the barrier moves are alright, but all of them are on one character, and I'm sure you can guess who, as he's the first example I showed during the start of the video. Bark has two special barrier moves that no one else has: Barrier Walk and Barrier Punch. Barrier Punch is basically back and punch. The way I could describe it is basically like the charge moves in fighting Vipers, except it's way more easier to be interrupted. And by easily to be able to be interrupted, I mean very easily. Any move that can break a barrier, that's a free punish for you. And Barrier Walk is a free fucking grab. Now, you might be thinking, if I can block with barriers but I only have 5 of them, how else am I going to be able to avoid attacks? Well, you can avoid some by crouching, which is one of the best defensive options in the game, but the main talking point is sidestepping. Sidestepping works in these ways. 1. If you press the punch, block, and kick buttons at the exact same time, you're able to sidestep. Pressing the button backwards will let you sidestep backwards, and pressing the buttons forward will let you sidestep forwards. Now, the one going forwards travels a bit farther, which is recommended that you use that one, and also gives you the most invincibility frames out of all of them, usually being 12 through 14, depending on the character. Some even have less. You're gonna often see this move mainly with Knuckles and Honey, specifically because of the sidestep PK string, dealing a bunch of damage and is really safe on block. You can't sidestep too much though, otherwise you're going to be forced out to do an attack. 2 is the maximum you can do, and you may be thinking, well, wouldn't it be better to double sidestep since you would be doubling your invincibility frames? No. Unfortunately, this is not the way to do it. Doing a single sidestep is much better, mainly because 2 sidesteps is practically unnecessary, unless if you really need to escape something that's, really that large, which is, very uncommon. Or 2, you don't need to be double sidestepping, just use a single sidestep, that will get the job done 99% of the time. The thing is that once you master how sidestepping works and understand it to the fullest, you don't really need barriers much anymore. The only use barriers have to you is Hyper Mode, which, like I said earlier, is situational for some characters, or is basically required for some, The only real time that you mainly need to block instead of sidestepping is to gain some frame advantages to punish, like glide or spin dash, which can be safely punished after blocking. To end things off, I feel like it's only right to fuck up the game's code and to do a bunch of random shit. Because, well, obviously, every video has to have something weird and archaic in it, and I also need to pad out the video's time because I couldn't come up with an actual fucking ending for the video. So, yeah, this is what I decided to do instead. If you go into a match of Sonic the Fighters and you make your barriers -1, you will have infinite barriers. However, because of your greediness, you want to know what the screen looks like after you complete one match? Yeah, it can actually get even worse and permanently stays sometimes, even when you change your barrier amount. So I really hope you understand a lot from this video and learn how to, use barriers more. Which, I mean, was kind of the whole fucking point of the video. Anyway, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. I also had this one on my back burner for way too fucking long, and I wanted to get that over with, and I feel like doing that with a 200 sub special seemed right. And because I had a Q&A, I have some questions to answer. So, I'm going to be reading all the questions you gave me in the Discord server in the Q&A tab, and I'm going to be answering all of your questions, starting with this one, mainly being, why is Honey my channel mascot? I just like the character. I've been maining them since I picked up the game, and that's really it. So, I just really enjoy the character. What's your opinion on the original Sonic guy profile? I think it's pretty cool, I guess. What do you think is in Metal Sonic and Dr. Eggman's future in CE? Now, the current Community Edition version is 1.7.1, which is a number of things. Mainly, Dr. Eggman is alright, I guess. I mainly think that the hitbox issue really needs to be fixed. There's a few other things I'd argue should be fixed, but I don't know what else you could really do to him because I think he's alright in general. I think the other thing that you could do is fix his bombs, but that's about it. Metal Sonic, I feel like, should be fixed. He is just awful, I'll admit. He is horrible, absolutely horrendous. I've never felt so pathetic playing a character at all in any video game I've played. It makes Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter look like Goku from Dragon Ball, bro. Is AI Sponge an underrated form of art? I mean, I guess. When will the next Legman tournament take place? Honestly, I'm hoping to have one either by May or June, but because of the fact that, time is, getting lower and lower because of my time crunch, yeah, I'm honestly not sure, but most likely May or June. Would you upload stuff outside of Sonic the Fighters eventually? Yeah, I've uploaded some Smash 4 videos at one point, and I do want to upload some Smash Bros. Related stuff at some point, as a side to my Sonic the Fighters related stuff. Or fuck, maybe even some other AM2 games like Fighting Vipers, or even, Virtua Fighter 2. Oh god, I have a lot to say about you. How would you rank all the vanilla characters in order, Robo-Egg and Legman included? Purely art. Sorry for the serious question, but what is your thought on the state of the world right now? Honestly, I really do not know. If I could really describe it, it would be in one sort of way. It's a 50-50. One side is really good, and you have a ton of people that support you. On the other side, you have a group of absolute degenerates that have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and deserve to be in the, where should I put them? There they go. Do you indulge in brain rot? I mean, I love Crush and Loaf. Do you think this game will be good? Probably. Who do you think the best PC player is? That's a really hard question for me to answer. Especially because of, well, the way the Xbox community views the PC community. Because honestly, I agree with the Xbox community. Some PC players aren't as good as they think they are, but I personally think that the best PC player would most likely be Mystic Noodle if I had to pick. If it was real, would you hurt him? Probably. Should Rhode Island be called? I mean, why not? Which character is the most annoying in the main 8? Oh, that goes to Amy. Besides Amy, fuck. That goes to Bean. His bombs are annoying, his pecs belong in hell, and Feint's attack can go right along with it. Do you think this guy is fucking epic? Yes. Do you like Sonic 4 Episode 1? Alright, I need to actually say my honest opinions about this game. I hate this game, and I love this game. Why? I honestly don't know at all. It's like, I hate this game. I hate the special stages. I hate the game's level design. But there's something about the game that always brings me back, and I do not know why. It just happens. So, yes, I'd say I like the game, and the game isn't for everybody. What do you microwave a lot? Food from the fridge, I guess. Can you eat cat food? Probably. Insert question here.
There's the treasure!
What Dan are you in VSRG? Honestly, I haven't played much rhythm games at all, so I honestly can't really answer this question. So, I'll just say baked potato and moved on. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Probably doing the same exact thing, but more popular, I guess. Who wins, Balrog or Dudley? I'd say Dudley wins for sure. Who wins, Vanilla Metal or Gil? Well, let's find out. Anyway, that will be the end of the Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed this, and, well, since we're now at 212 subscribers, I have to mention that we're 8 subs away from something I have been teasing for a long time. And this time, I will be doing probably one of the most craziest challenges I've ever attempted yet. Now, I have done Sonic the Fighters related stuff many times before. I've played this game with many different controllers and many different things, but I have never played it with the dreaded McDonald's Wi-Fi.